All right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So we're gonna do a recap of Friday trading the SPY. So coming into the open, I saw a gap here from November the 5th. So we still hadn't filled it, and I thought this was the day. I don't know if it's good to go with that bias, but I went in with that bias, and I was looking for pretty much an inside bar play. So cool. This is what it looked like on the daily. Change up to 5 minutes. So this is on Thursday. Actually, let's go to Wednesday. That's where the big move happened. So on Wednesday, there was news, Jerome Powell, and then we had the flush down. Cool. On Thursday, we had a kind of a continuation, just not really a flush, but try to pick back up and then went downish. So trend was down. And then going into Friday, after I was in pre-market, it was continuing. Well, technically, it did do sort of a gap fill. It just didn't complete it. Coming into the open, it was going back up. So I thought we were gonna go back and complete the gap fill. It did like a retest right here. All right, so market opens up. It's a green wick, not a very strong one. Second candle, it was a strongish green wick, but this was at the level where we would see what's gonna happen. And then we had a red, so we had like it wasn't breaking through just yet. And this was technically inside bar. So like I said, in my pre-market prep up there, I was looking for inside bar play. Just turn it on. This is an inside bar right here at 940. So when I saw that, that's what I was looking for. You know, not every inside bar is going to be the right play, but that's the strategy I was going with, at least from the open. Inside bar, and let's see. I took the trade. I'll put the screenshots up, but I took the trade at 9:48. I must have taken a trade around this area. If we go to the 1 minute, we can see where that. Let's just turn off the indicator. It gets a little messy with this. So 9:48 is when I pulled the trigger. And see, what did I see here? So we were up 9:48. So I did see, at least in my head at that time, confirmation that with the inside bar, we were going to go down. So took the trade about here. I got filled. This was a put for 582 puts. So this was inside money put. And I thought my target was here initially, with my stop loss being at the top. So about a 2-to-1-ish. Risk reward is what I was looking for. And I paid, what was that, 430. Cool. So what I did was I wrote it out, and initially it did, for the first few minutes, it did do a spool down, but then it started curling up, nothing crazy. It started curling up, going back down. And this was a pivotal moment where it was retesting the high I was trying to break earlier. So that's where we were. And then it looked like a rejection. So, you would think that, okay, we're not going to break it. We test it again. We're going to go back down. But let me just see what I sold, just to see where I kind of hit my stop loss. So to me, this was an okay sign, not a great sign going back up. If it really was going to flush, it would have just gone back down. But nevertheless, I didn't get stopped out just yet. So then I saw the push, but then we saw the buying. That's when the buying happened. And at 10:14, this is when I sold. I sold for 270. So respecting my stop loss, which was around this area, meaning I took a 160 hit. All right, so that was the 160 I lost on this. Just fine. If I had gained, I could have gotten 250, 260-ish, at least 200 plus. Cool. So I got that wrong. I got faked out, and I'm sure a lot of people got faked out as well. So that's what they call a false breakdown. With indicators, we can clearly see that this would happen. So a lot of people, if they played the inside bar like I did, initially it was working out. I guess if you're smart, you would have closed out. I don't know. If you just take a 1-to-1 risk, taking quick scalps, you could have closed out here. But either way, I took the loss about here. And 10:10. Cool. So let's mark that down. I took it at 10:15 is when I sold. So right about the end of this. Cool. Now, for the day, we are negative. So that doesn't mean that we have to trade again, but I just did get it wrong initially. It's not a good feeling, but seeing just not even SPY, but the other stocks in the market, seeing everything like do the same move actually and curl up meant that, okay, today was probably going to be one of those days where it's going to, you know, go in this kind of fashion. And especially with it's a short squeeze, or at least talks about that, and also Santa rally, Christmas rally. You just had a feeling that it was going to be green, but that's in hindsight. Cool. Let me just check. I'll put a screenshot up when I got my second call, or when I got my call option. So instead of going down, I was going bullish. So kind of late, but I was actually right at 10:30 is when I pulled the trigger. I was not looking at the 1 minute. I was looking at the 5 minute chart. So you can technically say I'm late to the party, but this is when I executed my trade. And in my head, I had enough confirmation that this was the direction for the day. So that's when I pulled the trigger at 10:30 right here in this candle. And then let's see, go back to 5 minutes, see how the rest of the day played out. Cool, 10:30, it's a green. So let's just say I entered right here, put it right in there. Let's put line. 10:30 is when I entered about here. So I got in at 399 for a 590 call, which is about here. Cool. So we have this. We have great momentum right here. That could have been a sell right there, but I did not sell there. We had some key levels that we were approaching, so I didn't sell just yet. I believe this was on a fib when I sold. So I sold at 1118. I think this was a 90% fib level. So it was a big push here, and I sold. And here I saw, a little bit of pause. So that's when I was getting ready to sell, but I held it, and I did get the big push I wanted, and I was happy with that. So that's when I took it, because at that point I was already up 190, 200 from the previous minus 160. That was enough of a coverage there. And also I had to use the bathroom. So I kind of just wanted to get it over with. And after that, I just kind of paused slightly here around this area, made some push, and then did some consolidating in this area. And then I didn't really follow it, but rest of the day, pretty much just chopped around. We're getting close to Christmas, so the trading volume might be sporadic. A lot of people probably are not trading until the new year. So that was the play. That's where I got in, and I probably sold around 1118. So I think about here. And the way I was risking it is, you could say I was risking this one, that my risk might have been right here, to be honest. Because with this big push, you kind of want to see it's going to keep following through most of the times. If it's going to break down, it would have broken down. But when you see this kind of candle, like, you just have the feeling. So cool. That was the trade on Friday. For next week, I don't know if I'll do any trades, maybe 1 or 2 max, but if you guys are curious, I'm using Robinhood. I did deposit 30,000, so I can do day trading, but I do have a Webull account with about 1,000 in there, so that's another couple of trades you can do for the week without getting flagged or the pattern day trader. But I might just move from Robinhood to Webull, since that Webull interface seems to be cleaner for options, but we'll see. So yeah, took 2 trades. Lost 160 on the first one. One was a winner for about 192-ish. And then for the day, we were at $30. Yeah, just want to do a quick recap on that. And even for myself to see how I played it. What could I have done better? And if you guys are wondering, these bars, I'm using 8 SMA, 20 SMA, and this is just a normal VWAP without the other bands and coloring. So I did not trade with these. I'm just trying it out. So for next week, I will take a look at this and see if we can do some trades with this and how it performs. So key lesson learned is don't go in with a bias. Sometimes we think this can happen, but this chart will tell you otherwise. I think there were some signals and hints as to how this day was going to go, especially with the way pre-market was going. We had seen it go down, so technically the gap fill, if it wasn't going to happen, it already happened. And I was just in my head, it's like, oh, it's not a perfect gap fill, so it didn't complete yet. So pre-market happened, and then getting to market, we see these big pushes, especially with this big wick. So what this really was, I didn't see it at the time, but now I see it, is that we were going to go up, and it did a slight pullback, and this was like a retest. And this retest was the confirmation where since it pushed it, it was the confirmation that that's the way we're going. So for next week, we can just wait for that pullback or that retest, whichever way it goes, up or down, and play it that way. But not every inside board play works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's cool. You can either take it or you don't. It's hard to tell. If it had worked out, you would say, "Oh, inside bar plays are best, pushing open." Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So that's the lesson for that. And if you guys are wondering the types of stocks I'm looking at, just like the blue chips, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, just the big ones, anything that's liquid, pretty much, and the SPY, of course. Cool. Without the video going for too long, that's the recap here, and I'll be posting more throughout the week, doing some homework Saturday, Sunday. If you guys have any questions, let me know. See you guys on Monday.